Good morning, everybody. Today we are going to be going through a vertical panel saw. This one happens to be a Holzher. We're going to go through it from all the way from the floor all the way through to the scoring device. So with that being said, let's get started. Alright guys, before we get started, I wanted to clarify some terminology we use here. One of the questions I have all the time when I'm starting to talk about heel and toe is people ask about what is heel and toe. And heel and toe is a term that we use from a machinist point of view that describes how a tooling passes through material as it's doing its process. So if I have two people, one person standing on the left side of the saw cut and one person standing on the right side of the saw cut, heel and toe is from that person's perspective. So if you are working with multiple people and you're describing something heeling and toeing, you want to make sure that you understand which side of that tooling, or which side of that blade rather, that you're viewing it from. So what a heel is let's say that I have a saw blade and the saw blade is falling in a vertical and it is being influenced from the back side of the blade. That is heel. From the other person's point of view, it would be toeing. So I would be heel in, toe in. I'd be toe out, heel out. Okay? So when we're working our way through this machine, we're talking about heel and toe, or heeling, toeing, toe in, toe out, all those terminologies. It's all viewed from the perspective of the person that is having the conversation. So if you're talking with somebody, you want to make sure that you clarify that information with them, especially if you're talking with them over the phone, because we're not there to see exactly what it is that you're doing in first person. So you want to communicate that to them. Okay? So with that being said, let's jump into the process. Okay, adjusting the heel and toe after you get a saw cut straight. What you want is the heel and the toe of the blade to match the travel of the saw in the vertical. So what we have in this one is we have a set of guides that's here that allows us to take and tilt that head back and forth. The way that we do that, we put ourselves a board on here. It's about 2 foot wide. The width of that board is enough that it's about twice the dimension of our saw blade. And then what we do is we come into this, we make a cut, we go down through till the tail of the blade just starts to exit the top of the board, and then we come straight out, retract it straight out. Then we come down here, and then we do a back cut. And at this point, you guys got to be really careful with this. So you hold the board down, and then you'll do a plunge cut backwards, and then you'll make a cut backwards up into the board until the lead of your blade, the normal front end of your blade, has now met into your board. And so what will happen is, as the blade is coming down from the top, if it's got a cant to it, it's going to push it one way or it's going to push it the other direction. And as it comes up from the bottom, whichever the direction of the blade is, it's going to push it this way, it's going to push it this way. And then what you do is you bring those two together so that the two cut lines touch, and then you compare the two curves. And that will tell you which direction this needs to move. So if your blade is like this, as it falls down from the top, it's going to push this way. When you come up from the bottom, it's going to push this way. Opposite, so other way. Now we're down to adjusting the heel and toe, which is these adjustments here. The way we confirm that, come over to your board. You want to make a plunge cut. This is the same for both the vertical and the horizontal. Make a plunge cut. This references the front of the blade. Then you come down and you do a plunge cut again. And then you do a back cut until the two lines cross. Get you off mounted here so we can come down and take a look. Let's turn this off. Then we can talk over it. Now if we go in, we take a look here at my joint. if my blade had heel and toe in it, let's say it was heeling this way, and as it comes down, it's going to influence the blade like this. And then when we do a back cut, it's going to influence the blade like this. When we come up here and do a comparison in the joint, we can see that we no longer have any kind of influence on that blade. That's what the adjustments in the vertical, that's what this one is. And in the horizontal, it's the same for the horizontal, just the other way. Now on the Striebigs, at least the way they used to do it, is the scoring on it was used, they did a back cut, and when you wanted to score, you'd come down, you plunge in, and you run backwards. So when you go to do this test with the Striebigs, you're going to make a cut through, and then stop, turn around, come to the bottom, come back up, and you're going to make a comparison on that.